Well, over 9,000 workers with the Canadian Border Services Agency will be in a legal position to go on strike starting Thursday, June 6th. Host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney, joins us now with the latest. Sean, wow. If the strike happens, will the Canadian border, will that just be shut down?
Well, great to be with you here this morning. So, no, it won't, but it is very, very concerning. You know, these union members with Canadian Border Services, they have been without a contract since June of 22. So this is not a new issue, but it's definitely coming to head. So CBSA says the border is going to remain open if a strike occurs, as 90% of the frontline border services staff are deemed essential workers. So that's the good news. But the agency does say that travelers and businesses should really prepare for delays in picketing at border crossings. It's actually expected that essential workers would work to rule, adding to some of the wait times. So if you are doing some business, moving products back and forth across the Canadian border, or maybe just taking a holiday, maybe getting some fishing in coming out of going from the U.S. to Canada, expect some delays at the border if this happens tomorrow.
Yeah, this is going to be very bad. What are they asking? What is the union chasing down?
Yeah, so in terms of what the ask is here from the union perspective, in a letter to trucking companies, custom brokers, and parcel delivery services last week, the union said that a strike could very well mean dramatic disruptions in the flow of goods. Both sides entered into mediated negotiations this past Monday, but there have been no public updates as of late Tuesday. The union is seeking wage parity for its members in line with other law enforcement agencies across Canada, including a 25 and out retirement policy. They want access to telework and protections from contracting out services to automated systems. So again, like AI is a factor into this, very similar to the film workers in California. Also, being replaced by students and other service providers are also on PSAC's list of key issues at the bargaining table. So, really trying to prevent the replacement factor from other sources of labor.
If this goes through, according to a stat I found, $2.6 billion in goods and services cross the border daily from the States to Canada, a lot of that being crude energy. So talk about how this could impact farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, it's very concerning. Of course, remember, too, we have potential for a rail strike of our two major railways happening, too. Transport in Canada is really, really under threat here right now. All you got to do is go to any of the major border crossings, really across Canada, whether that's at Windsor in Detroit. It's where, my closest one between Coots, Alberta, and Sweetgrass, Montana. You see a lot of truck traffic going back and forth, hauling goods. That could be parts, that could be machinery. This has made, we've already dealt with a lot of supply chain issues. We know that containers are getting more expensive with some of the rerouting around the Red Sea. This is a lot closer to home, right? And we will see some of the lineups. So this is something that farm groups, I think, are going to be pushing to get rectified as soon as possible, especially as we're into the growing season now. So there's a lot of these goods that farmers need to access.
Absolutely, boy, just a bad thing. Thank you so much, Sean, for checking in with us and giving us details on this. Host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney. You want to catch him on his show, Real Ag Radio, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's weekdays. Rural Radio Channel 147. That happens on Sirius XM. We love having Sean and his team join us here on Market Day Report.